Okay.
How that makes me feel.
Thank you. I'm in my Buddhist mode. I saw that before. It's the same vibe.
Good morning, Concordia. Hello, everybody in the house. Those of you online, thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Beautiful. Feel free to sing along, stand if you want. Good morning, Concordia.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Carla Joyce. I am one of the practitioners here, and I am privileged to be your host today. So I welcome you all here, live in person, and those who are joining us online. If this is your first time here joining us, please be sure to see a greeter for your gift of our Science of Mind magazine. And yeah, you're welcome. And Concordia means where many hands and hearts come together as one. So our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. I really do know these. It's early. And our vision is a world that works for everyone. And so you will find in front of you a connection card. And so this is where you can put your information, and we send out one newsletter a week. But that will inform you of all the events that we have going on here, the classes, the events, the workshops. There's always something, so definitely sign up to keep in touch. And more importantly, on the back is where you can put your prayer request. We are a prayerful community. There are several of us in these purple stoles, and we hold your desires in our hearts all week. So be sure to fill this out. And you can put it in the basket when that comes around at the end of service. And so, thank you. This is going to be, I know, a joyous, harmonious, peaceful, powerful service. I know each one here is blessed. I know the message here today will touch each one, will open a heart, open minds, connect the mind, the body, the spirit. We all come together as one, as there is only one. And so I know each part of this service today is blessed, from the AV upstairs to all of us here, musicians, singers, speakers, practitioner on duty, and downstairs to fellowship after service. All is such a gift, a blessing, and a joy. And I anchor this by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
I invite you to take a breath, settle into the earth. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I invite you to just rest in your seat, to allow the flow of good. Take a few moments of silence to feel your inner being, to feel your heart, your soul. And this will be followed by an affirmative prayer, and I invite you to take those words in as your own, if they speak to you. And so breathe. So what I know there is just one. This oneness is all-encompassing, all that exists, all that ever has existed, all that ever will exist is this one. By many names we know this oneness. Feel this presence within you, this creative power, this energy that is everywhere in everything. Nothing is outside of it. Everything is within it. And this one expresses itself through its creation, and each one here, each one everywhere is an expression, a creation of this oneness. And so in knowing this, I recognize that this one, being all there is good, expressing itself through its creation, imbues each one with all the attributes of this oneness. So with peace and harmony, with joy, with abundance, unlimited abundance, unlimited joy, unlimited good. And right here and right now, I open my heart to receive this good, to feel this good flowing in all of its shimmering, shining, glittering power and deliciousness, its aliveness, as it imbues every organ, every cell, every bone, every joint, everything that I am. I recognize it is flowing through me, as me. And I know that the more open I am to receive, the more I receive. The more open I am to the possibility, the unlimitedness of this one, the more can come into my experience. And right here and right now, I demand, I affirm, I expect good. I expect life to unfold in perfection today. For each one, as each one moves throughout this day, throughout this service and beyond, knowing that this energy flows from myself, from each one, and affects the atmosphere around each one, out through this room, out into the world, a ripple effect of energy and joy, feeling the expansion of that. And I claim anything that feels like less than that expansion, than that power, is simply something for me to turn from and face and open my arms and my hearts to the receptive energy that is the truth of who I am, who each one is. And so in gratitude for knowing this, and just such appreciation for the truth of who each one is, who I am, in gratitude for this, I release this word, this powerful word, this word that is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the law, knowing it must unfold, it must become so. And I allow it, and we affirm by saying it so.
So it is. So it is.
Thank you, Mary. That was a powerful, affirmative prayer. So it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. It is Reverend Darrell Jones. Reverend Darrell Jones is a minister, spiritual director, author, and mindfulness coach who brings 20 years of personal practice and over 15 years of professional experience inspiring, teaching, and coaching individuals, spiritual communities, and business groups to begin and maintain a life of spiritual practices to deepen connection with life. Darrell published the heart of his work in 2021 with the book Soul Gym, a manual to connect mind, body, and spirit for soulful living. Darrell lives in Chicago with his wife, Dr. Carrie Jacobson, and dog Charlie. Currently, Reverend Darrell serves the larger CSL organization as a new elected member of the Leadership Council and a member of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee. So please give a warm welcome to Reverend Darrell Jones.
Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me, I want you to lift your hands up and make a heart symbol. All right, thank you so much. It's such a joy and pleasure to be with you all again today. And I want to just jump right into the talk today. The title is Shame or Love, What Feels Better? So ask yourself that question. It seems like a silly one, but I think you'll see shortly that this is a question that we may need to ask ourselves multiple times a day. Shame or love, what feels better? From the beginning of time of recorded history to our current day, we have tried to make sense of the world through a paradigm of duality. Nature versus nurture. Good versus bad, loyalty versus independence, reward versus punishment, heaven versus hell, holy versus evil, right versus wrong, Democrat versus Republican, justice versus forgiveness. And as we continue to try to pigeonhole life into this either-or scenario, we must realize from the principle standpoint that if we deny any aspect of spirit, then on some level we deny all levels of spirit. That as we try to deny one end of a spectrum of experience, that we are diminishing the experience that we have on the spectrum. What if you could expand your life, and including the life of everyone else on the planet, through the practice of forgiveness? Today we'll explore how our individual practice of loving at all costs, which is another way that I like to call or define forgiveness, how we can practice loving at all costs to liberate ourselves and the world from the harms of shame. As I was practicing this talk a few weeks ago, that phrase, loving at all costs, just kind of popped into some of my practicing. And I looked up that phrase and found that it was used in a lot of books like romance books and loving at all costs in those extremes were kind of that unhealthy codependent space where we love someone or we stay in love with someone regardless of what they do or don't do. This is not what I'm talking about here. This love at all costs is this idea that love is the supreme thing, which is what we always say in Science of Mind, right? That to practice love is the thing that takes us to the edge of God, takes us to the edge of spirit, takes us to the edge of the universe. So then why ask this question, shame or love, what feels better? I want to define these two words, work them out for our use today. So the first definition, shame. Shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness or the awareness that we've done something wrong or foolish, right? That we behaved in a way that wasn't so great. And I'm sure if you are human, but let's just check, has anyone in the room ever experienced shame before? Let's see by a show of hands. Whether that shame has been expressed to you by another person, or maybe you've shamed yourself. So we understand this painful feeling of humiliation or distress. Then there's the definition of love. And I want to stay away from, there's the agape love, there's romantic love, there's sexual love. If you've read the 5 love languages, there's different ways of communicating love. But here's the general idea. Love as an unselfish, loyal, and benevolent concern for the good of life. The unselfish, loyal concern for the benevolent concern of everyone. Has anyone ever experienced that before? Where you had a general concern for our planet, where you had a general concern for your family, where you have this benevolent concern for your children, for your neighbors, for our country, for your community. And I'm not talking about worry, I'm not talking about anxiety concern, I'm talking about I really care for the other, that which I see outside of me. And if you check in with when you feel that benevolent concern for another versus shame, what feels better? I don't want to diminish our experience of shame. As I said earlier, to diminish any of our experiences on the spectrum, then it brings down all of our experiences. If you are familiar with emotional intelligence at all, you know this idea that oftentimes there are emotions that we don't want to experience, right? We maybe don't want to experience anger. We don't want to experience anxiety. We don't want to experience this sense of unwellness. But if we don't let ourselves honor and experience that, then the love and the joy that we desire to experience, that gets diminished as well. So shame is naturally on the spectrum. And it is this natural response to the realization that we have done something wrong, that we have harmed in some way, that we have overstepped, that maybe we have impinged upon someone else's life in a way that has lessened their experience of self. Many of us humans have learned to override this feeling of shame. We've learned to shut it down in the interest of power. Many of our leaders on the planet, and definitely in this country, have learned to overstep that sense of shame within themselves to keep themselves in power. But one of the things I really want to put my hand up on today, and this has become a new, an added purpose to my work on the planet. Shame is a natural thing for us to experience in our humanity. However, when we use shame as a tool for growth, transformation, or healing, I have to say it doesn't work. If you have ever worked with children before or been in a room with children, but it happens with adults as well. But think of all those times when you've just said shame on you to a child. What happens? Their shoulders shrink down. Their eyes drop down. And do you think that they are receptive to any sort of feedback for growth? No. They are starting to literally shut down their nervous system, and as a result are not available for healing. They're not available for learning. And yet, our world uses shame as a tool for transformation. And if it had worked, our world would be in a different place. But we've mastered this practice of shame. In all of our generations, in all languages and cultures, shame is used. In all belief systems, in all families, governments, and media, and more. And we still find ourselves locked into this practice, even though it has not transformed our planet. My hope and desire today is that you can discover a practice that is within yourself that brings you into a space of personal grace and forgiveness that allows you to step into the world transformed and thus transform the world by your presence. Does that sound like a good idea? All right. Quick check-in. How many of you have ever said any of these phrases? Shame on you. You should know better. You should be ashamed of yourself. That was a disgraceful thing to do. I'm so disappointed in you. I can't believe you would do that. What kind of a person does a thing like that? Whether you said those phrases out loud, I guarantee in some way, shape, or form, you have uttered those phrases inside your mind. Those are shaming phrases. Those are phrases that we use as vernacular, as regular, easy, accessible statements with the hope and intention that somehow they're going to transform another person to behave in another way. Think of the last time someone said any of those phrases to you. Did it make you available to change your behavior? Maybe a little bit. You're like, oh, I shouldn't say that again, or I shouldn't do that again. But you probably didn't feel good. If we don't feel good in our bones and in our skin, chances are what we are being guided to, what we are being coached to, what we are being welcomed into is not going to stick. And this is not the truth only for our individual selves, but in all of our systems on the planet. If we continue to use shaming tactics, which is really a big way, I think, especially in the United States, if you look at any of our media, regardless of if it swings politically left or politically right, all we do is shame one another and point to one another and say, you are wrong. Not only do we say you are wrong, we actually say you are evil. We actually say you are not good enough. You are less than. Now, don't get me wrong. We speak a principle-based teaching here where we say there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life and your life now. We are all one. But one of the things that I continue to put my hand up on again and say that stating that is not enough because oftentimes our behavior doesn't match that statement. The way that we show up in the world versus what comes out of our mouth oftentimes doesn't connect. So one of the ways that we can begin to shift our external experience of shame versus love is by the language we use. I have been deeply entrenched in the teachings of restorative practices and restorative justice over the past few years. And one of the big things that I was invited to take a look at first, before looking at any systems, before looking at anything else, was just how do I speak to myself and how do I speak to others? So some of these shaming phrases, here's a way that we could shift them from being shaming to affective language. And affective language basically means that we are communicating our needs, we're communicating our wants, desires, and understandings respectfully, as opposed to using blame and shame. So instead of shame on you, you should know better, we could try using a phrase like this. This moment is a time to remember who you truly are. wise, loving, and capable of growth. Let's look at what this experience is here to teach us, right? You could say that to yourself or to another person. Or instead of saying, that was a disgraceful thing to do, you could say, let's talk about what's happening here. That action that you just did caused harm, but it doesn't define your essence. Every misstep is an opportunity to reconnect to our powerful truth of love. Another one could be, I can't believe you would do that. You could say, let's be curious and not condemning. Help me understand what was moving in you at that moment. Awareness brings us closer to truth and connection. Hopefully you're getting the idea of how we can shift. There's one more practical example I want to use. Let's say I'm having a conversation with someone named William. And as I'm sharing, William rolls his eyes at something that I have to say. I could say, William, when you rolled your eyes at me, I felt hurt and angry because I really want to talk to you. Would you be willing to really look at me and listen while I speak? And if you have frustrations or concerns, speak them to me as opposed to rolling your eyes. I could have easily just rolled my eyes back at William. I could have easily said, who are you rolling your eyes at me? You don't know any better than me. There's these subtle ways that we show up on the planet that are human, that are reactionary, and we are not going to necessarily turn that off, but we can do something immediately as we show up in that way. We can begin forgiving ourselves. We can begin forgiving others. Any forgiveness heals. Let me say that again. Any forgiveness heals. The biggest challenge that I find in myself as a human being on the planet, the biggest challenge that I see working in organizations and family systems, is that most of the time we are waiting for some human external condition to be met before we forgive. Does that make sense? We're waiting for someone else to do something, or change something, or say something before we start forgiving. I'm here to challenge us today that we cannot wait for a human condition to change in order to start forgiving. I've been reading a book called Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Many of you may know that. And in there he says, it is essential that we adopt a way of living based not on fear, control, and abuse of power, but on true forgiveness, unconditional love, and peace. My friends, we are running our world on fear, control, and abuse of power. We must start practicing true forgiveness, unconditional love, and peace. And to inspire this, I want to bring in some teachings and lessons from the infamous and powerful teacher, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He once said that forgiving is not forgetting, it's actually remembering. Forgiving is not forgetting, which is what a lot of people say, forgive and forget. He says forgiving is not forgetting, it's actually remembering. Remembering and not using your right to hit back. It's a second chance for a new beginning. And the remembering part is particularly important, especially if you don't want to repeat what happened. So think about the state of our world right now. We are constantly hitting back. Constantly. Whether it's through a media campaign, whether it is through withdrawal is another way that we hit back. We're like, oh, I just can't be engaged in that, and we pull away. Forgiving is not forgetting. It's remembering that we don't have to react and hit back in some way. We can actually ask ourselves a question. What can I forgive here? What can I let go? Radical forgiveness, Colin Tipping goes on to say, is the spiritual technology that allows us to heal at the deepest level by reframing our stories. Forgiveness is not, it's not something that is based, I believe, in human condition. Right? I said earlier, we cannot wait for human condition to change in order to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a spiritual technology. It is something that we must choose to actively do, period, as an exercise every single day to keep ourselves clean. For any of you who might be advocates and studiers of A Course in Miracles, there's a basic premise from that book and teaching that the only thing that there actually is love. And if that's true, then everything that's happening on the planet is a reflection of the love that we understand, or it's a calling for us to experience as well as exercise love in a way that we have never known before. This is forgiveness. To use the spiritual technology to forgive ourselves and to forgive others. And as I said earlier, any forgiveness we do heals. So whether we start with ourselves or we start with another, it's doing something, but we must do it. Rumi once said, beyond that field of wrongdoing and right doing, there's another field, and I'd like to meet you there. That's where we need to start meeting one another. Beyond the field of blame and shame and wrongdoing, there's a field of forgiveness. There is a field where we say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Some of you may recognize these 4 phrases from the Hawaiian and Pacific Island practice of Ho'oponopono. This is loving at all costs. Now, if we are physically being threatened, we may not have time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm not talking about some of the traumatic experiences that we have had and that we probably will have, unfortunately, in our humanity. But when we are desiring to do some healing work in our spiritual practices that does something to uplift ourselves as well as the planet, forgiveness is something that we can do that will actually shift the experience of possibility starting today. Will you join me right now in that practice? Yeah. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a slow breath in. And as you exhale, let your attention move down to your heart space and repeat these words quietly in your own mind. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Say these words to yourself, regardless of how much you may be holding yourself in some sort of mental prison. Say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Call into mind someone, maybe not a big hurt or harm, but someone has rubbed you the wrong way, whether it was a friend, a family member, maybe someone said something on social media that kind of inflamed you a little bit. And just try saying, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. This is a phrase, a practice, and a way for us to shift ourselves into the loving space as opposed to the default desire and want to shame one another into transformation. My friends, my family, I love you just as you are. And what I know is that you are a powerful place where God is known. May it be known even greater as you practice forgiveness day after day. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings to you all.
The second quote.
Thank you so much, Reverend Darrell. Whew. Amazing. Amazing as we transition here. In addition to the love, you are the light. You're here to remind you, to remind yourself, to remember, right? So as we sing this spunky song, feel free to stand up if you wish, give your voice, and here we go, remember.
want to thank everyone that showed up yesterday at the No More Hunger Walk down the road at St. Mark's. It was a fabulous collaboration of all of many different communities coming together to help serve families who are food insecurity. So I want to let you know that you do still have the opportunity to donate. There is room for lots more. So I invite you to go to concordiacsl.org, Conscious Giving, and when you go through the pages, there's a section for comments and notes, and you can put in No More Hunger Walk, and we greatly appreciate your donations. It helps West Bay Marketplace, the second largest food bank in Rhode Island. They serve over 500 families a week. And a few other food pantries as well right here in Warwick. So your generosity is just greatly appreciated by all. So thank you very much for letting us skip that. Well, not skip it, but yeah, jump ahead. So next we have the Pulse Survey. What has been going on here in the community? There is a copy of the survey downstairs in Fellowship Hall. We have been wanting to hear from all of you, everyone who is a part of this community. We are in some transitional stages, trying to find our way going forward, and your opinion matters. So please be sure to go to the website to find this, or like I said, downstairs there is a hard copy. And I have to say the survey was really thorough and very, it really helped plant some seeds for me, things I wouldn't have thought of on my own. So it really was thought-provoking, and yeah, please take the time to let us know how you feel about Concordia, what you love, what you want to see more of or less of. And next we have the Women's Circle. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So, Women's Circle, the last Friday of every month. This month it falls on Samhain, otherwise known as Halloween, but in a sacred form, we as women will gather together in ceremony and ritual to come into alignment with the moment, which is the veil is very thin. So it's an honoring of the dark, of our ancestors, of our psychic and intuitive energy, and it's preparing us for the dream time to move towards the winter solstice, known as in some of the older traditions as a new year, gateway and doorway. So we will explore the many themes and we will celebrate. And weather permitting, I'm going to put it out there, two things. Bring a photograph of an ancestor, and if the weather permitting, the tradition is to have a bonfire. So we will do that in-house with candles, and if the weather permits, we will go outside and we will build a bonfire and celebrate the circle of Samhain.
Thanks, Kim. And next we have a meditation group starting. That's very exciting, and I'd like to welcome Lisa up and back from her travels.
So, where have you guys been? Every Sunday, I just wait for everybody to show up. But I've been here. I'm so grateful to Concordia Fellowship and Facebook that I can participate, and I got to see a lot of you and get to talk. I was away. I was on the West Coast, the Midwest, all over the place. So I miss you when I'm home, and wonderful to see you. So we did our potlucks, and in our potluck group, it was requested that we do something extra. Maybe a meditation group, maybe a prayer group, something that wasn't Sunday morning. So this is Shannon and I. This is what we put together, and we would love you to join us. We're going to meet downstairs in Fellowship Hall on Saturday mornings, starting November 15th from 10 to 11:15, and we're going to do some spiritual practices. We'll do a little prayer, we'll do a little meditation. It'll be a very free-flowing group, and it's a drop-in, no sign-ups, just show up and join us, and enjoy what you asked for. And especially if you were in my group, at my potluck, you asked for it, you got it. Now you have to come. So thank you, everyone. Love you all, and it's wonderful to see you again.
Thank you, Lisa, and I'll invite Mary back up to close us
was really good. Reverend Darrell. And I was thinking about the forgiveness thing, and it included myself, to forgive myself for any and everything. Forgive myself for not being, the person all the time that I want to be. And to know that I am a spiritual being in a human body. So I hope you are all blessed today. Anybody feel pretty blessed today? The music, oh my goodness, the band, the singers, Lisa Medley leading, it's just such a joy. And if the greeters will come forward, I invite them. And it's our time to, if you feel blessed, if you were spiritually fed, please feel free to put something in the basket today. You can also text it. You can also add a donation on this credit card slip here, which of course we shred immediately. And on the back of your connection card has already been said, prayer requests are welcome. So please, anytime at all, feel free to go to Concordia, prayer at concordiacsl.org and offer prayer, and the practitioners will hold your prayer in their hearts. Hold consciousness to allow that unfoldment of whatever it is you desire. And also, you can put your connection card in the basket as they come around. You can give through cash, check, online. You can text. And I know that number is on here right on the back of the slip. And that is 401-466-4454 that you can offer a text. And join me in our affirmation. Divine love as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Downstairs in Fellowship Hall for some refreshments, some good conversation, and to share your light, the light that you are, and receive light, as is your birthright. So, just closing with a prayer, knowing the perfection of this day as it unfolds, knowing that each one leaves here with a light shining within their hearts, knowing that good is theirs to claim, to have today, to expect, to believe the words that have been spoken here, to feel the openness, being an open vessel to all that comes into your experience today, knowing that it is a transformation, a way to invite the divine guidance, the divine love that is yours to manifest, go out from you, and come back tenfold. And so, in gratitude for all that has transpired here today, I say amen, blessed be, and so it is.
We've got one more song for you as you head out. Take a breath. Take these words as your own.